Kia ora and welcome to Business Your Way. I'm your host, Sandra Julian, a certified business coach with over 2 decades of experience in building and scaling businesses. Over that time, I've learned that there is no one-size-fits-all approach to business success. What matters is finding the approach that works for you. So this podcast is all about helping you scale your service-based business with strategies that align with your soul and your values. I want to help you drop that hustle culture and focus on more sustainable, soul-aligned growth. I invite you to join me in each episode for insights and actionable steps that will work for you. Let's make your business feel right for you in a way that truly fits with your life and the life that you want to live. I'm glad that you're joining me this week because we're going to dive into a topic that is at the heart of all agency businesses, because team is our biggest asset when we are running an agency. But knowing when to hire staff is a question that never gets any easier. So whether you're hiring your first staff member or your 10th staff member, knowing when to hire the next person is a question that we all grapple with as agency owners. You've heard the saying, hire before you're ready, right? This can be a super scary statement, but it is also a very true statement. Hiring staff requires us as business owners to make a shift in our thinking and a shift in our being. We have to become leaders. We have to become people managers, in addition to all the other hats that we wear as a business owner. It requires us to be accountable to our team in the same way that our team are accountable to us. I mean, for myself, there are some days that I just wonder, am I cut out for this? And I'm sure if these are my thoughts, they are not uncommon for other agency owners as well. Because having a team can be hugely exhausting, but it can also be highly rewarding. So in this episode, I want to give you some systems to implement into your business to make it easier to identify when you need to hire staff into your business or when you need to make the next hire into your business. And in this episode, I want to use myself as an example because we have just gone through a growth phase in my business, and I knew the staff that I wanted to hire as soon as I'd kind of hit this point in my business. I knew that if I get to this point, then that is when I need to hire this person. So I already knew ahead of time the next hire that I needed to make in my business. And whilst I knew it, it didn't stop me from second guessing myself. Is this the right person? Should this be the right way of doing it? Could I do it differently? Should I think about this differently? I had all of the things running through my mind around who is the next person to hire, even though I had all of the systems mapped out, and that told me, who I needed to hire next. But it's because I let my own thoughts get in the way, and I started to second guess myself and wonder whether I was making the right move. Because bringing a new staff member into your team, back to that super scary point, because you are having someone come and work for you. You are now providing them with their livelihood. So now you have to meet payroll every week so that person can live their life. And so that's a huge responsibility on us as business owners. And so this is kind of where I was heading with the notion that we have to change the way that we think, and we have to change the way that we are being in our business as the leader and as the people manager. We have to overcome those fears of having to meet payroll every week and know that we have systems in place that can predict what our future business looks like. And it can help us predict what we need to do next week, next month, next quarter, in order to keep the team that we have and that we've worked so hard to recruit, to onboard, and to indoctrinate into our way of doing business. So as we go through this episode, I really wanted to use myself as an example because in July this year, I knew that I had to employ because I had built a pipeline of leads. So this is the first system that I highly recommend that you put into your business. You have to know what's coming down the pipeline. You have to know what work is coming into your business. So you have to track your leads, you have to track your proposals, and you have to track your timeline. And when I say timeline, I mean a timeline of when the client is wanting the work done. So in my business, because we're an event agency, I need to plot out the event dates that my clients are coming to me with. Because we're a small agency, I have 3 people who are working in the agency doing client delivery work, as well as 3 people with non-client delivery work inside of my agency. So I still classify us as a small agency. And because I've only got 3 staff who are doing the client delivery work, that means that we are limited to how many events that we can do simultaneously. And I'm okay with that. But it does mean that I have to put a timeline in place to plot out when the event dates are hitting the calendar to make sure that I'm not doubling up on events on the same day, on the same month, and that they are spread out and that we can go and deliver the events without putting too much pressure on the team. Although November is a month where we are completely overloaded and stretched to our capacity, but that's a whole nother story. So system number 1 is to build a pipeline of leads. You want to be able to track your numbers as they travel through your sales funnel. So as an agency, my favorite lead generator is an appointment funnel. This is where you get your potential clients to book into your calendar and have a discovery call with you. Mine's not called a discovery call, mine is called a planning call, because in this 60-minute planning call, I ask them about their event, what success looks like for them, what they want to achieve, what they've done so far, what the details of the event are, so how many days, how many people, where it is. Those are kind of stock standard questions, but I like to dive a little deeper beyond that into who's coming to the event, where are they coming from, what are they coming for, what's in it for them. So I really dive into, finding out about my potential client's event. And then I'm able to then return the conversation to them and say, well, based on what you've told me about your event, this is how I recommend we go around planning your event. So I call my discovery call a planning call. In this call, I am working out whether they are a fit for my business, whether we can work together, whether they're aligned with my values. They can assess me as to whether I'm aligned with their values. I can also assess whether the event that they want to do is an event that's within our niche, because I've really decided on the events that I do want to do and those that I don't want to do. So if it's an event that's outside of the scope of event that I want to do, then the call doesn't go any further and I make a referral and refer them to other providers. So this is why this is my favorite leads generator type of system coming into my business. So get an appointment funnel. You get to talk to your client, your potential clients one-on-one. You get to find out if they're a fit for you. they can also assess whether what you've got to offer is a fit for them, whether they are ready or whether they need to go away and do some more work before they come back to be ready to work with you. So that's really great. And that then helps me track my leads into my calendar, the timeline of events, and plot them out. From there, I can send each of these prospects a proposal. So that's the next phase in the appointment funnel, is the proposal. And then I can follow up with them on whether that proposal is something they want to sign off on and get to work on delivering their event. So having this pipeline of leads, knowing how many calls I've got coming into my calendar, so how many leads are hitting the pipeline. After the call, I know whether that is an event that is going to go ahead and I'm going to send them a proposal, or I know whether they need to go away and do more work before they're ready to work with me. And then once there's a proposal out for the consideration, then I can plot that on the timeline and know what that looks like. When the proposal is signed off, then I change colours and it's like these are confirmed pieces of work. These are potential pieces of work. And so I know months in advance what's coming down the pipeline. And having this in my business has allowed me to know if I am ready to hire staff. And I can know 3 months ahead of time that in 3 months' time, I'm going to need another staff member to be able to cope with the amount of work we're going to have because of the leads that have come in, the proposals that have been signed off. So that's system number 1 that is really helpful to have in your business if you want to know when to hire staff. Because having that pipeline of leads and knowing what that looks like also allows you to project your sales. And when you can project the revenue coming into your business, you can hire that next person with more confidence that you can meet your payroll. So system number 1 is to build a pipeline of leads and track them. System number 2 is to create an accountability chart in your business well before you need it. So an accountability chart helps you know who is doing what and who is responsible for what inside your business. You have to spend some time identifying each seat, also called, a position. So a person doing a job, right seat, right person. So spend some time identifying every position in your company that you would need to deliver the services to your clients. Each position in your business will be defined with clear roles and responsibilities. And this isn't a snapshot of what your business looks like now. This is a big picture. If you were to realize and scale your business and you had a different person in a different position within your company that allowed you to deliver an amazing service to your clients, what would those positions be? And what responsibilities would each position have? And there's really no right way or wrong way to create your accountability chart. What you create will be based on how you serve your clients and how you want to run your business or how you do run your business. It establishes clear ownership and accountability for everything that must get done in your business. This way, everyone knows who is doing what and who is responsible for what. And right now, you might be doing all the jobs in your business, or you might have a small team of 1 to 2 people, but this is when you should create your accountability chart. Because if you are already doing the jobs, then you know what's involved, and that makes it easier for you to identify what tasks make sense to go together. So what tasks should be clustered together to go into a position in your business? The other way to look or think about an accountability chart is, what will my business look like in 3 years' time? If I was to grow my business like I have a vision for, then what are the positions in my business that I will need to create this level of revenue, to deliver this level of service to my clients? What will that look like? So sit down and create your accountability chart with that 3-year vision in mind. I know that this is not an easy task to do, especially when you are, you're entrenched in the day-to-day delivering of your client service, being a small agency. So taking some time to really forecast what it looks like inside of your business in 3 years from today. How much revenue will you be generating? How many people will you need to generate that level of revenue? And then build out your accountability chart. What position is needed? What responsibility will that position have in order to perform their role? And what area of the business does that fall into? So how many people will you have in your non-chargeable area of your business? So your administration, operational arm of your business. How many people will you have in the fulfillment area of your business? So delivering the client services. How many people will you have in the marketing and sales arm of your business? So plot this all out. Know what that looks like for you. And then this brings me to my next point, which is when you have an accountability chart, it helps you decide which position you need to hire next. This in itself takes away all the guesswork and it brings some level of certainty for you as the business owner to know that when you hit this level of revenue, or when you get this many clients, or when your pipeline gets this big, you know that you are then ready to hire that next staff member. Having transparency over your sales pipeline, you know how much money's coming into your business and what you can expect over the coming months to be happening in your business. What work is going to start landing in your lap, whether you have the capacity to do that work with your current team or whether you need more people into your team to do that. Because when it is time to recruit, you need to know 2 months in advance of needing that person in your team, and at least 2 months in advance. So that's where your sales pipeline becomes really important, because you'll be able to see 2 months in advance the amount of work that you're going to have to deal with. Your accountability chart will tell you what your next hire should be based on that sales pipeline. 2 months ahead of that is when you need to start advertising for that position. Because if you allow 2 weeks for advertising, then I allow myself a week to assess the applications. And then after that, you've got a week where you should allow time for interviews. And then in that same week, you really want to be making the employment offer. So that's 4 weeks down the track. If the person that is going to be your next hire is already employed, they may have to give 2 weeks' notice or even 1 month's notice to their current employer. So then that's another 2 or 4 weeks down the track before they can start with you. So there's your 2 months just consumed in recruiting. If you're lucky enough, you'll get a person who can start immediately, and then your hiring runway is only 4 weeks. But I like to plan 2 months in advance, because in my last hiring round, I went to market and advertised in July, knowing that come end of August, September, I would need this person on my team. Unfortunately, I did not get the applications that I wanted for the position. So I had to go out to market again and look for new applicants. I tweaked the advertisement, tweaked how I was attracting that person, and then got some new applicants to look at, new applicants to interview, and then from that round of advertising, I was able to recruit the right person. But that took me 3 months to recruit the right person, and I'd only allowed myself 2 months. So for 1 month, my team and I would taken on that extra workload, but we were all stretched to capacity. Now we have a new person on board, and it's great. So plan each hire in advance of when you need them. So these 3 systems in and of themselves will take away that unsureness of not knowing when you should hire your next staff member. So system number 1, you need to build a pipeline of leads and have a system that documents those leads as they travel through your sales funnel. System number 2 is that you need to create an accountability chart well before you need it. And your accountability chart will help you know who's doing what and who's responsible for what inside of your business. And then system number 3 is to plan each hire and know who you need next on your team. So it's a combination of what's coming down your sales funnel and what your accountability chart looks like, so you know what position to hire next. And with these systems in place, you stop second guessing yourself. You stop wondering whether you are making the right decision. You stop flip-flopping around whether you should or shouldn't. Are you ready? Are you not ready? These 3 systems will give you structure around knowing when you are ready financially and workload-wise, whether you are ready to hire that next staff member. But always remember to hire before you are ready. Alrighty, that's what I've got for you today. So now you can go out there, scale your business, enrich your life, and amplify your impact. Just before you go, I wanted to say thanks for spending some time with me today. If today's episode was helpful, please be sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any future episodes. And if you know another business owner who could use the advice from this episode, please send this their way. Sharing is the best way to help more service-based business owners grow sustainably. I'd also love if you could leave a quick rating and review of the show. It helps more people find the podcast, and I would truly appreciate your support. You'll find all of the links in the show notes, including buttons to make it easy for you to share. Catch you next time on Business Your Way.